Is America losing the arms race to China and Russia? The simple answer to that question is yes. China and Russia are outpacing the United States and its allies in the new arms race. Gone are the days of arms control. Over the past few decades, key treaties that helped keep the world safe have collapsed, one after the other. The era of arms control effectively came to an end when Russia suspended its participation in the New START treaty. Meanwhile, China, which refuses to be a part of any kind of dialogue on arms control and is displaying an increasingly aggressive behavior in the Indo-Pacific, is now rapidly building up its conventional and nuclear forces. Are America and its allies prepared? There's a lot at stake. There's lots to worry about. Recently, a high-ranking defense official from Australia warned the West of the imminent threats in the Indo-Pacific region. On Monday, Australia's Deputy Defence Secretary for Strategy, Hugh Jeffrey, said that Australia and the US need to boost their industrial cooperation so that they can be better prepared to face these threats. He said, and I quote, "Russia and China are outpacing the US and its allies. Our ability to co-innovate, co-invest and co-produce defence technology today will determine who wins the battle for military advantage tomorrow." You see, for some time now, the US and its allies have known one thing. The military-industrial architecture developed during the Cold War is not just adequate to address the challenges of today. The Australian official thought to remind them of just that fact. Jeffrey said that AUKUS will play a pivotal role in securing the Indo-Pacific region. Let me remind you, AUKUS is a trilateral security partnership between Australia, the United Kingdom and the United States. Among other things, AUKUS gives Australia's defence arm the ability to build nuclear submarines in what many assume is an effort to keep a lid on the Chinese Navy in the South China Sea. The Australian official says that AUKUS can challenge China, but the reality is that the trilateral partnership faces several challenges. For starters, the alliance, which was announced in 2021, is yet to be fully adopted. Moreover, the nuclear-powered submarines announced as part of the AUKUS Pact will reportedly take decades to deliver. AUKUS's loss is China's gain. We already know the era of total American submarine dominance is ending. China continues to and has significantly expanded its fleet of subs. Beijing is producing a new generation of nuclear-armed submarines that, for the first time, are expected to pose a challenge to growing US and allied efforts to track them. Analysts warn that China is on track to have its Type 096 ballistic missile submarine operational before the end of the decade. Just look at the timeline here. Breakthroughs in the quietness of these submarines are aided in part by Russian technology. Analysts predict that these new Chinese submarines that are going to be very, very hard to detect. The Type 096s are going to be a nightmare for America and its allies. What's more, the Pentagon says the Chinese Navy is routinely staging fully armed nuclear deterrence patrols in the South China Sea. It is similar to patrols operated by the US, Britain, Russia and France in the past. Sure, the US has taken several steps recently to boost its readiness in the region. It is training with international allies and partners. It is one of the core drivers of America's increased deployments and contingency planning in the Indo-Pacific region. The piled strain on the resources of the US and allies, all this shows that China has improved in many areas, including logistics, command and control, weapons. They show how China has started operating its ballistic missile submarines in the same way that the US, Russia, Britain and France have for decades now. China's deterrence patrols allow them to threaten a nuclear counterattack, even if land-based missiles and systems are completely destroyed. The new Chinese subs are also being equipped with a third-generation missile, the JL-3. It has an estimated range of more than 10,000 kilometers. It has the ability to carry multiple warheads. And more importantly, it gives China the ability to reach continental US from Chinese coastal waters for the first time. What's more, China plans to boost its military spending by 7.2%. This year, as Chinese President Xi Jinping stays the course on his campaign to modernize the armed forces, China's more than 20 years of continuous increases in defense budgeting have featured a broad military upgrade effort. to include sophisticated new weaponry and cyber capabilities, much of which is focused on challenging America's power. After spending the past few decades on extensive research and development, China's production of missiles, fighter jets, warships and submarines has now moved into higher gear. We all know what that means. It means that for the first time, the US has to contend with two nuclear adversaries, Russia and China. More adversaries means more trouble. Can America take on both? Sure, it has the ally support, but most of them have big issues, rather bigger issues, that they need to contend with as of now. Take the UK, for example. The UK's recent Trident missile test failures have raised questions about Britain's nuclear deterrent as well as its ability to deliver on its promises to AUKUS. Already, Russia's invasion of Ukraine has revealed Moscow's ability to batter its neighbors in Europe while using the threat of nuclear war to keep the US at bay. Russian troops may have been brutal in Ukraine, but its conventional and nuclear capabilities, paired with President Putin's aggressive behavior, is and will continue to threaten NATO for years to come. But Europe is dealing with bigger problems than Ukraine. It is a divided house when it comes to strategy. There are continuing shortfalls in weapons production. It is scraping at the bottom of the barrel for weapons. In case Russia attacks, which is their big fear, can America deal with it all alone?
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.